welcome to episode 7. In search of Behind the Chair, Millionaire Best Practices of Millionaire Salon Owners, Stylists. How do you build wealth? What are the new wealth building? What are the new ways that we're fueling the salon? That's what this conversation is all about. My guest tonight is Miss Marcy Sagorac. She is one of the co-owners of Create Salon Spa, Cape Coral. Her hubby, Jeff, is with her as well. We'll bring them out in a couple of minutes. I just want to tell you who they are and really show you some of the remarkable results that they're getting, and then engage them in a conversation to let us know their secrets to us, how they're doing this, because we think they're moving into a new formula for success. Create is the name of the salon and spa. They are located in one of my favorite parts of the country, beautiful Cape Coral, Florida, nice and warm down there. We had a great day in Minneapolis, St. Paul, a whopping 39 degrees. So anyway, this is their timeline. How's that for an idea? Now, I believe that they started Create in 06, 07, went to Summit in or around 07, 08. Really, when I said open for business, kind of were introduced to this whole salon save pay rock conversation, but really started to embrace it in 2013. And as you could see, the sales really started growing. I mean, 2.3 mil in 2016, 2.45. So you could see the sales growing over the years. I mean, that's a monster salon spa. And like anything, a couple of years where you have some setbacks, some hiccups. People get on with their life. So adjustments in turnover, but they keep chipping away. But no, wait, there's more. They really adopt this principle that I've been talking about for years and years and years and years, called pay yourself first. Save a little money first, spend what's left. Now, what you do with the money, we'll have that conversation. Some of it you use to build financial security. Others you use if you're a salon owner, to finance your biz, to fuel your marketing efforts. There's a lot of different things you can do with the money. But the bottom line is, gang, after an 8-year rhythm, they have, when you add up all the money that they were able to take advantage of, it's about $1,400,000. Now, a lot of that money is being used for, COVID. They weren't nearly as fragile as a lot of the salons were. A lot of this money is remodeling. I think they've tripled their space over the years, but they're not as dependent on a banker. So it's a wonderful way to really the latest greatest growth strategy, and they are one of a few hundred people out of, I think it's like 8,000 or 9,000 in the Payrock community that are doing it. So I wanted them on tonight to hear it, so that you could hear it and I could hear it and we could hear it right from the source's mouth and heart and soul how to do it. So they are in my green room. I'm going to go and get them now. We will go and get them as we speak. There they are. I'm going to unmute them, and you are going to make them feel nice and welcome. How are you?
Hey, doing good.
You were in my green room. Was I saying it all right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. And we got the little doggy. They've been working all day and just rush to be here tonight. So we're so grateful that you could give us a few minutes of your time. Get us started, first of all, on the Create story. I love, first of all, Create as in CRE 8 Salon Spa. So I thought, boy, that was a very creative name. How did Create come into being, into its operation?
Well, we decided to basically take all of our money and put it into the salon in 2006. Shortly after losing our daughter in 2004 in a car accident.
I remember we were together.
Yep. Thank you, Michael. Yes, I do remember that, and you were such great support back then, and so grateful for you as a friend. Can't even tell you. So
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. So there was a settlement. I mean, luckily, if it wasn't for that settlement and putting all that money in, with blind faith in each other and saying that we're going to do this, in the honor of our daughter and our family, our boys, showing them that, we can pick up the pieces and, we're going to move forward and dedicate this salon to her in a sense, and just show gratitude to our community and make people feel good. And, and here we are.
So you from the settlement, from what you walk through, you invest in, create in 06, and then somewhere in there you do Summit. When did Summit happen?
Well, we opened 2006, and we always joke. We say we made a big mess of it. 2007.
We tried to run the program ourselves, unaccountable, of course. Yeah. So that didn't work.
And we went back to Summit, and we got an amazing coach, Angie Torgerson, who took care of us for so many great years.
I remember. Yes. Yes. And now Heather, I think Heather Bagby kind of every now and then she'll come in and keep an eye on and keep things cooking.
Well, Angie handed it over to Heather Bagby, and she's been taking great care of us ever since. And we just feel so fortunate to be part of the Summit program.
Well, what about how did you get introduced to the Salon Save idea, which is a feature built into Payrock? Then it was Integrity, I think. And
it was Integrity, yes.
How did that conversation come into being?
That was at the symposium in 2009, I believe, is where we talked to someone there about it. And we had known about it, I think, a little bit before then, but you couldn't use your own bank. You had to use like PNG Bank or something. And I was like, I'm not going to get another bank at the time. But another year or two later, they figured out if you can get people to use their own banks, then it would work well for, that people would, get in it. And that's what we did.
I see. And then it looked like it started picking up in or around when I'm looking at that, you start building a rhythm in 2013-ish, where, year after year, it almost becomes part of your system.
Yeah, for a while, we kind of forgot we even had it. So it was just, unseen money that was going into an account. And when we actually looked at it, we were like, whoa.
Yeah, I've heard that. Marcy, a number of times where people go, if you don't see it,
yes,
you don't miss it. And it almost defies, what would you call it, logic. And it's counterintuitive. It's like, well, don't you get into cash flow shortage but it sounds like you just kind of learn how to make it work in that rhythm.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anytime that you would need something for a payroll, if you were short, then you can always take something, from that and put it back in. It's not like you can't touch it. So,
well, that's the other
it's always there as a cushion. But you just got to keep your hands out of it.
Right. Yeah. And was there a time where all of a sudden you knew you were kind of doing it, and then sometimes you forget, but there that definable moment where, gee, we've looked at this number over the months or whatever. But all of a sudden, it's like this compounded, it snowballs, and you go,
yeah, exactly.
What? How long were you on it before you had that first experience where you went, okay, there's something to this?
Yeah. It was when the chest pains went away. Honestly, yeah. No, I have to say, when you can feel unstressed about that you have something that in case something should happen, even if you need it for a payroll or you need a new piece of equipment.
I love it. So
we've done a lot over the years.
Yeah, this is not about hoarding money. It's about, we have a reserve, not for if, but when. When stuff happens, whether it's, okay, we got a blip in payroll, or we experience some turnover, or we want, you guys have, like, that business has grown exponentially since 06, 07. I think once upon a time, weren't you in one bay, and then you go to two, and now you're in three, and that requires investment. But yeah, I think you were telling me, Jeff, that you basically have used that as your fuel to continue to grow the business.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you were also sharing with me, which I'm just fascinated by it, where there's times you will use some of that as fuel for whether it's a marketing promotional to incentivize your guests to get more involved in product and services, and or to incentivize the team to really drive the business. Talk about that and how you've used it in that way.
Well, for example, right now we're giving away an iWatch. If you refer a friend, and the person referring their friend has the opportunity to win the iWatch, and so does the person, the stylist that they're being referred to, service provider. So it's a win-win situation for everyone.
And so you that some of that fuel in Salon Save is earmarked for events like that where you're not hunting for fuel.
Yeah. It makes it enticing. Yeah.
Yeah, and but you now it's not almost, you've built a bank inside of the business so that you have that. And then what about COVID? How was your experience with COVID different with a reserve like that?
Well, we had money we could shut down, and we had people that were still in the building for those weeks that we were actually closed, our office manager, and we had other people in there making phone calls about appointments, and we had a lot of people actually doing something during COVID in the building, safely, of course, and taking care of those things that still need to be taken care of.
Yes, and then
so we were able to still make payrolls.
Exactly, and then create is what walked through in 2020, in addition to COVID, what many salons walked through in 2020, where when you reopen and relaunch, there's a part of your community that isn't with you. They get on with their life to other things, and that was a sizable chunk of your community. How did I can only imagine how your fuel helped to, I would call it, stabilize the business more better. You didn't have near the issues that many salons had when that happened to them.
We're grateful for that, for sure. And yes, we lost some troops along the way through COVID. It was a little scary because there was talk about being open only 50% capacity. So stylists were afraid, like, well, I'm not going to be able to put my guests anywhere. Where am I going to put my guests? So we had, a good 9 of them leave, and it was scary. That was certainly really scary for us. But with, like we said, the pay rock, and thank goodness for PPP, we are,
right.
We're in a good place, where we can really focus on our employees right now that we have. When we opened back up in May, we brought on Kerastase as well as a new retail line. So I thought, if we change the conversation from COVID to Kerastase, hopefully we would, hit it off running, and we sure did, because it certainly has been a great thing for us. Kerastase is very happy with us, and we're very happy with Kerastase, and that was a really big investment. That was
that was $12,000, and that was right out of that account. So we were able to put that in there, even with having the troublesome times too.
Right.
We wanted to change the conversation when people got back.
Right. What I'm curious about is that there's a number of people that are watching tonight, and there's going to be a much greater number of people watching the recorded. This will live on my pages. I'll have it on my YouTube channels and in my Instagram channels as well. Salon this worked for me. Will I fall down, go boom? What if? Is there anything that you can say to them that might give them whatever they would need to, as you two did? You took a giant leap of faith and not only hit the ground, landed on your feet, but hit the ground running. You look back at it and you go, that decision would probably be a candidate for one of the better decisions that we made in the business. What would you say to somebody?
I would say, just like you said, keep the faith. We've always had blind faith in Summit. because like we said, we didn't know what we were doing in the beginning. So, you know, when you have a community like Summit that's out there that has been through it, has seen it all, maybe not COVID coming, but because we had Summit throughout that process, I have to say that we felt privileged, and we just felt like we're really part of a really nice, tight network of professionals that, you know, we all sort of got leveled out all at the same time, you know, with COVID. And I still can't express enough my gratitude towards having a coach like Heather Bagby, having you in our life, Michael Cole, and having the Summit community, along with the Payrock that works so well with Summit. I mean, just keep the faith and have blind faith, and never doubt the system, because the system works. It's been proven to work, and we're believers. We drink the juice.
Here. And another question that kind of I got on my board as I'm looking at people that are, is one of them is, has this the Salon Save empowered you to stay either relatively debt free in the business, or not incur the debt that other salons might have to incur without this?
Yeah, definitely. I would have to say debt-free and growing the business.
Mm-hmm.
So you would definitely say that this is so much more than it looks at face value. Like, did you have when you first started it, did you have any idea that it would have, it's almost like it's got legs on it. There's like little tentacles that support the business that I would not have seen when the idea was presented, because I remember, we go back, you know, the three of us, where it was a new concept presented at Summits in 04, 05, and it's like, oh yeah, Salon Save, that's great. But, you know, you fast forward, you know, 15 plus years later, and you go, whoa.
Yeah.
We had no idea, I guess is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. You have to remember that no matter what money that you're going to put into the account, where you choose whatever percentage it is, you can put 20% in. The money is not gone from you. You can always go get it and put it back in your bank account to cover something.
So over the years, as you've kind of, you develop a rhythm, but you kind of get an understanding of kind of how it works. You can dial down or dial up on work.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Marcy is very big on education, or we are at Create. So when we bring people in, we've had Chris Sorby, we've had Christy Valenzuela, we've had almost every top-notch performer from Redken and Pureology. I forget what her name was from Pureology. She was in as well.
Wendy Valenzuela.
Well, yes, thank you. Wendy Valenzuela. Ruth Roach. Yep. So, you know, when it comes to that kind of stuff, that's what we provide for our team in the building. So you can have top-notch education, and that's what Marcy wants. She wants people to have the latest, you know, up-to-date what's going on in the industry. Well, and we're able to do that, whether it's with points or using that money.
Right. So while we're in that part of the conversation, I understand, I have an intimate understanding of Create, like because I know that you work with the Lynn Winslow agency, where you're when I Google top salons and spa in Coral Gables, you're like page 1, and then when I get on your Google page, it looks like a modernized, high-tech website that's a Google page. It's like, whoa, this doesn't, like, that's architected and designed. Then when I get on your website, that's state of the art. You know, I could just continue. I go on your social media pages, and then, you know, like you said, you have an educational calendar that drives that. You launched, you know, one of the highest end product lines, Kerastase, and so when you really look at all the loose ends that need to get tied down for it to be a multi-million-dollar brand, you've got them tied down, and I just can't help but wonder that the fuel, because at the end of the day, you need fuel, and you built that in to the business. So kudos to you, and with your permission, I'm going to be posting on this links where people can get to you if they have some more questions about it. As well as I'm going to put Salon Save on this, and I've been working intimately with them. I don't take money to advocate for that. But what they've done, they're very, very grateful, is that as people go and check out and go, okay, what is this? Mention that we've had this conversation, and they've agreed to make a contribution to one of my charitable.
Awesome.
I'm really an advocate of children's literacy for children in the inner city. So it's one of those good for all and the harm of none.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you, Michael.
Well, yeah, thank you. Now, we're out of time, but promise me you'll come back for an encore. I'd like to have you back, once a year or so, because I think whatever this looks like today pales in comparison to what it's going to look like when we're on, sooner or later we're going to be on the post-COVID. COVID's going to be history. And I just have a feeling that you and I were chatting, Jeff, that what your trajectory is for 2021, and it looks like you're going to be in unprecedented territory. So stay tuned, more will be revealed.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And again, thank you for rushing home and spending a few minutes with us tonight. I'm going to let you get on with your evening.
Of course.
Tell all the rest of my homies that create that I love them all, and God willing, we'll get together when we're on the back end of COVID.
Yes, that would be great.
Hey, I just want you to know that we still have a name tag with Michael C. on it stuck in the back room by the phone.
Michael was here.
Yeah.
I remember that day. After a while, I have senior moments, but I think I was with Create. I mean, this has been 2-3 years ago, but even before that, I remember being when you guys were like 06, 07, 08, when I was down in that part of the country where we stopped, and I did something. So I've been in your casa twice.
Yes, you have.
Either that, Marcy, or I'm hallucinating again.
Oh, no.
No.
Our casa's your casa.
Absolutely.
All right.
Anytime you're in the area.
All right. God bless. I love
Oh,
you
Michael.
guys all. Have a great evening, and we're going to give it up for Marcy and Jeff one more time, you guys.
Thank you.
Stay well.
Thank you, Michael.
You as well.
That was extraordinary. That was extraordinary indeed. Give it up for him one more time, would you guys? I want to summarize this, so I'm trying to pair my TV to cooperate with my iPad, because there's some stats I want to show you that I think are nothing short of being off the charts. But I loved, if you ever get to follow Create on their Instagram. Google best salons. Here we go. Thank you, Wi-Fi gods. Google best salons in Coral Gables, and you need to see their Google page. You need to see their websites, and you need to see their social media spaces on the internet. But this is really, to me, the unprecedented stuff. This is their track record, and I went through that before. So inside of an 8-year window, they've been able to Salon Save to tuck away $1.4 million. Now, if you went into their account, you won't see 1.4, because some of that money is used to remodel their salon twice, so it wasn't financed, debt-free. Some of that money was to navigate COVID. They had, like what a lot of people had, is when they rebooted last May, 10 people didn't come back to that. So that helped them to navigate those turbulent waters. But what I loved about the secret sauce is that, this is the bottom line. And I think that this is rapidly becoming a core strategy. Now, here's what I find to be interesting. Payrock, which is, for whatever reason, it's the only processing company that I know of that has this built in, and that's really why I advocate Payrock. But here's what I think is an ironic. They have over close to 10,000 salons inside of their massive national brand, but only 371 of their 10,000 salons take advantage of the Salon Safe feature. I want you to wrap your mind around that. That's like not even 4%. You go, why would that be? It's kind of mysterious. I have a feeling that Salon Safe is probably one of the best kept secrets in the beauty industry currently. But out of the 371 salons that are in, this is what makes up the community. When you add up the number, how much money that's totaled, there's $47 million in a holding account for fuel in this community. 6 of them are over $1 million. Creates one of the 6, and there's a couple of others that I haven't interviewed yet, and then the rest falls down below that. But it's predicated on this conversation that I'm really having more and more. I've come out of the closet. I'm done mincing words. I really believe that whether you're a salon owner or a service provider, and service provider as in hairdresser, nail artist, esthetician, massage therapist, you can be a millionaire. That especially in the age that we're in now, the digital age, that there are 4 principles. Give yourself a raise just basically means you have to continue to raise your sales, like create, went from $1 million to 1.5 to 1. You have to continue to grow sales, or if you're behind the chair, you have to continue to grow your income. But growing it in a way where you're always spending less than you're growing so that you have money to pay yourself first. As a salon owner, you can do that through, with a Payrock feature. If you're behind the chair as a hairdresser, heck, that can be taken off and automatically directly deposited into account. So that's very doable. And while you're doing this, paying down your debt. That as a business, Create is debt free. And you can see that my little hair follicle here, you go from being broke as a joke to, the 4 diamond is you're using the 4 rules. So if you decide that this is for you, when you either text Payrock or use a link that will be on this post, please, please, please make sure that you tell them you were part of this conversation. If you do, 2 things will happen. 1, they will make a donation to, Payrock will make a donation to the Children's Literacy Foundation that I'm kind of a philanthropist part. And if I know that you did that, I shouldn't say this because it's going to blow up I would be more than happy to give you an hour of my Zoom time to do something with you, for you, and your people. This is how important this has become to me. But I will not do that unless you say that you had the conversation here. Because if you just go to Payrock and go, I want some information, great, you'll be able to take advantage of this feature, but there'll be so much more good that will be served if you said that you're part of the Michael Cole Summit community. So, having said that, that's my shameless plug. It's a great show tonight. I want to give it up once again for Marcy and Jeff from Create. Michael Cole Summit is powered by Salon Emotion, L'Oreal, Salon PPD. And these are their brands. It was interesting because Marcy said in May, I think it was May or June of last year, they decided to take on Kerastase. Having conversations around Kerastase was a heck of a lot better than conversations around COVID. So support their brands. To the degree that you support L'Oreal's brands, they're in a position to really bring all of this to you, compliments of them. Nothing's for free, but brings this to you compliments to them. And thank you. Christina is saying, hi, everyone. You can direct line to Christina. She just put her 847-720-1141, and her email is Christina Mateus at payrock.com. It says, help us donate to Michael Cole. I love it. Thank you, Christina, for doing that. So anyway, this is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I'll tell you, it will definitely change the trajectory of your life. So thank you to L'Oreal. Salon Emotions, by the way, is a brand that I am helping L'Oreal to reimagine and make that a much, much, much bigger part of some of the newer innovations that I'm doing today. So it's an honor to be part of the brand. Thank you as well to Summit Salon Business Center, Salon Centric, State RDA. All of these companies now have become kind of a collaborative group in helping us to move your salon forward. So it's a great show tonight. Thanks for hanging with us, and we come to you on a frequent basis. This has become the learning channel for salon spas that want to continue to grow, modernize, and stay state of the art. So have a great evening, you guys, and we will be with you soon.